My name's Tim Race. I'm the current principal of Pakowhai School. I've only been here about 7 months, I think, and it's been quite an eventful 7 months now. The school has got a rich history. A lot of you attended this school. It's no stranger to disaster like we've experienced. It experienced the earthquake where the children were down on the field, thankfully, and were told to head home by their parents. So thank goodness we didn't have children here at the time that this area flooded. I'd like to start off the meeting with our school karakia because I think it's got some important messages for us as a Pakowhai community. So if we could just observe some collective silence for the karakia, please. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pou namu te moana, hei huarahi mā tātou i te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou ia tātou katoa. That's our school karakia. A loose translation is, may peace be widespread, may the sea be like a greenstone, a pathway for us all this day. Let us show respect for each other, for one another, and let's bind us all together. So we're really happy that our school grounds were able to be used for this today, being probably the highest point in Pakowhai. We were fortunate that our building survived and we've been able to have our kids back reasonably quickly. It continues to be a wonderful place for children to be, and I hope that this meeting here at our school and on our grounds that most of you probably ran around on when you were children is able to be used for what you need it for tonight. I'd like to hand over to Mayor Sandra Hazelhurst now, who will chair the meeting, and welcome to our school and all the best.
Thank you, Tim. Tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to you all. It is fantastic to be bringing our Pakowhai community together. Can I please invite all the speakers who from various agencies that are coming to support us tonight and be able to provide information to our Pakowhai community, please. Thank you. Can I also welcome the councillors who are here with us, Councillor Harvey, Councillor Dixon, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Sears and Councillor Zan Harding. Welcome to you all. Welcome to our agency partners, MSD, Regional Council staff, Te Whata Ora, our health team, and police, Unison and MB. We've got all the teams here tonight for you folks. We're here to help. We're here to provide all the information you need. Can I acknowledge our local MP, Anna Hawke? It's wonderful to have you here. And thank you to everybody for coming this evening. So I've got, where is the team lining up, please? Oh, Councillor Redstone, I said yes. No, all of the speakers are lining up. Thank you. That's what we like to see, because there's going to be questions and we want to provide you with the answers. But before we get started, can I just acknowledge the incredible pain, the incredible loss, and the devastation that you've all faced in the last 3.5 weeks. This is the biggest natural disaster that's happened in our district, in our region. It is the third only ever national state of emergency. Can I just acknowledge the loss of loved ones, the loss of your homes and property, the loss of your livelihoods, the loss of your pets, and the loss of your stock. We are here and we feel your pain. Can I just start by also saying that we understand and really feel that we've heard from some of you that the response wasn't fast enough right at the beginning of the disaster. And for that, I apologise, because we need to do better. We need to learn from this, and we need to make sure that we respond to our community's needs as fast as they need them. Can I acknowledge the amazing volunteers, those who have helped us get through this time, the tireless workers. You know who you are. Those who have stood up, have rescued animals, have rescued people, and have helped each other to build back our community of Pakowhai. I know that you'll have individual concerns, and I know there's things that you need. Generators, food, welfare. There are generators to help you. Please come and talk to us at the end and put your name down. There is all sorts of, and supplied by Red Cross. There is welfare, there is food, there is funding, and the whole team are here to help you with all those things to support you get through. Well, I'm delighted that we're now running a community hub, and we're looking to get the Pakowhai Hall back, hopefully. It's just been assessed now, and we hope to be able to get our beautiful old Pakowhai Hall back into use, but at the moment we're at the school. But it's great to have the mobile community hub here with police, with councils, with Red Cross to help everybody to get answers to their needs. And make sure, just pop in any time. We had 25 visitors yesterday and the day before, and we are here to help you, to support you in anything that you do need. And let us know what time suits best to have that mobile hub. What time suits you best for it to be open, that you can access all the support and needs that you have. This might be the beginning of many community huis like this. We're up to our third in Puketapu, and we had our first at Esk last night and our first at Twyford last night. So these ways, these community huis are a great way to bring people together to make sure that everybody gets their needs looked after and supported. So this could be the beginning for our Pakowhai community to make sure you get everything you need. Now, I'd like to hand over to our partners, the Regional Council, Councillor Zan Harding, who will now welcome you and also just address a process that the Council are working through and to understand what actually happened on the night. Welcome, Zan.
Thank you, Sandra. Kia ora tātou. Oh, I can go over here. As Sandra says, my name's Zan Harding, short for Alexander, but I just got Zan, so I'm learning to live with it. So I'm one of the regional councils with Hawke's Bay Regional Council. My rohi is Hastings Heratonga. I would like to introduce my fellow councillor, Councillor Sophie Sears over here, and we have a couple of staff here. We have Chris Dolly. Chris looks after assets and other things, and assets in our terminology is things like stock banks and pumps and a whole raft of other things like that. And we have Katrina Brunton here, who looks after policy and regulation. And I want you to just cut these guys a bit of slack tonight, please. They have an immense challenge, as everyone does. They have been almost non-stop since this event. The Regional Council forms the core of the regional civil defence emergency management response. So they bear a hefty burden of working through that civil defence structure as well as trying to keep their day jobs together. So and then give up their evenings. So I'm very appreciative, and I hope you can appreciate that too. Look, just a couple of apologies. I want to apologise. There's a couple of councillors. Our chair, Hinawai Ormsby, couldn't be here tonight. She's got a clash. And also Councillor Yarif von Beek, who... Yeah, sure. Yarif is the councillor for the Nararoa, which includes Pakowhai. He himself was flooded out and yellow stickered at Twyford and lost a large proportion of his orchards, so he's definitely with you in spirit, but he has his own issues to manage at the moment too. So, just in terms of scene setting, I mean, our mayor's done a great job of acknowledging the pain of the people who we have lost. We have lost people. The pain of us that remain, the losses that we're facing and the ongoing challenges that we have, I need to address the fact that the regional council owns and controls the flood assets that contributed to you being here today. So we had an event, a rain event that went way beyond our, it set many records, and it was way beyond the design capacity of our scheme. That is the headline. So we were dealing with a natural event well beyond our planned ability to cope. Beyond that, getting into the response, there's a whole lot of detail that needs to see the light of day. There's a whole lot of explanation and examination that needs to and will go on. That is not for the moment. At the moment, this is about, for those people who have the explaining to do, including myself as a councillor and our council and the staff who are part of this, that is for another time. That is for a time when we get beyond the response that we're in at the moment. We still have over 20 communities that are cut off, and we have an overriding priority as a regional council to staff the emergency management response along with our partner councils and to build back those stop banks. And I will invite Chris in a moment just to give you an update on that stop bank program. But that is our overwhelming priority, to keep you safe and to monitor ahead so that we are keeping ahead of any weather with our building. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Absolutely. And that needs to be answered for. And I'm sorry, that will be part of a review process. I can't answer that fully for you tonight, but you deserve that to be answered.
So since you guys didn't keep everyone safe, why don't you just pay up and give us something so we can live again? None of us have got homes. Right.
So we will. So a little bit. Yeah, I appreciate that. A little bit later in the program, we will get on to the zoning questions. Right. That it needs to be talked about, and we will get there. So
I've got a serious question. Taradale, Jarvistown, everybody was warned apart from Pakowhai. Why weren't we told to evacuate?
And they
We
weren't
were
allowed
left
to
to die.
evacuate. Nobody was allowed out of the bridges.
They shut the bridges on us.
And they wouldn't let us evacuate.
Those
I had
texts
my
they put
brother
out?
couldn't get out.
One word added to Pakowhai, Jarvistown, Pakowhai. We would have known.
I understand the question. I cannot give you a proper answer for that. It's,
So why are you here?
Nobody could
Why are you here
evacuate.
if you can't give us the answers we want? The mayor said you guys would give us answers.
This has
We're
taken
asking.
4
This guy
weeks,
wants
a month
answers, we
in.
can't
People
give
were
it
at
to
the
him.
bridge turned away.
So in other words, you're wasting our time gathering this meeting.
So as Zan has just said, there's going to be a full review undertaken by the Regional Council to understand those questions.
You turned around right at the beginning and said you give us answers. You can't give us answers. You're wasting our time gathering us here.
Well, there's a lot of other questions on the agenda, sir, that we need to give people answers to, and the next one is
We had
silt.
a drain dug outside our place.
Okay, so that's the next one. So let's get on to silt and drains, and we've got two of our experts here, and I'd like to introduce Chris Doty from the Regional Council and Craig Thu, and this is about getting your drains cleared. This is about making sure the silt is gone and where it goes. So,
You're wasting our time.
thank you.
We don't need this.
The rain today
Yeah,
was fucking pissing me off
Yeah.
because the water can't go anywhere.
yeah,
Back on the property, what I'm still paying a mortgage for.
yeah. So I was at our Pakowhai pump station today during that rain, and we are battling to keep those drains open. We've got machines out, we've cleaned a lot of the drains, and what we're finding is two things. One is the silt is going straight back in, and they continue to be silted up. And certain drains we've probably cleared out 4 times, and the silt is still coming in. So we've got a long job ahead of us. With the Pakowhai pump station, it was totally submerged, and it's a 2-storey building, totally submerged. And we've got that up and running with the 2 permanent pumps in there now, plus 5 diesel pumps. that was battling to keep up in that thunderstorm.
It's a V like that.
Absolutely.
It's a V, and we were trapped and submerged.
Yep.
It needs to be redesigned.
Yep.
And the one street that pump station is closest to, Sissons Road, the ditches have not been cleared. The water is still laying around.
Yeah. So if you can give us your addresses, we'll take some notes and I'll...
We've already rung the
I've
rung
told
every
you.
day.
Are you aware that the diesel ones that you've got there today aren't draining because they need a filter change?
No, I'm not aware of that, so thank you, and I'll take that back to the team. So what I'm happy to do is take any comments back or any addresses and talk to the team direct to make sure...
Just hop in a ute and drive. Just drive it and you'll be able to assess it. You'll be able to assess it, because I can. I don't work for the council, I can assess, oh shit, I'm going to need a few more trucks than the 2 trucks. I'm going to need 10 trucks, load them up, don't worry about the police, because half the loads, they're not loading them. Don't worry about the overweight. Load them, get rid of the soil.
They didn't worry when there were logs on one side of the road and they just
And the
drove them
God
over the
Squad
other
are pulling
side.
trucks up.
So there's rules for some people
Get rid
and
of the
not
red
rules
tape.
for others.
Easy.
One suggestion I'd like to make is to manage that Twin Rivers, that is the confluence of the Twin Rivers. And one of the chaps there said to me, you know how in normal times when it reticulates through the big poured in place concrete with the flaps on the other side, and then the pumps kick in when, you know, it can't gravitate out. I'd like to think some consideration be given that it acted as a dam until it blew, of having a whole massive section at the hairpin to the top of the bank doing what the ones do at the bottom and elevating the pumps so somehow they automatically kick into diesel and hydraulic or mechanical drive taking over from electricity, those poles being the top higher than the top of the riverbank. We've got to think fail-safe in the future.
So,
and everyone that needs one needs a sat phone. The chap quoted in the paper from up at the Waiwari weather station about the 400 and something in an hour and some ungodly amount like 700 overall. Give anyone who needs one, to make things, give us a warning, a sat phone. I listened assiduously to the national program on the Tuesday. The only thing I heard was at 9 o'clock, the portion of Taradale that goes against the river, i.e. You know, Murphy and the other road, Guppy roads, and thankfully it wasn't too bad. I think some of them were back in there that day because it was shallow and wide, came up to the Celtics. But there was nothing, absolutely zilch, and I think that's unacceptable. If I'd known there was 500 or 700 mils trying to find its way down into the rivers from up the back country, I might have run out of time and been out of luck. But I would have endeavoured to get a truck to get my sheep away. The only thing I knew was I went down to the Brookfield Bridge at about 7:30, and I've never seen it so high or so swift, with the bridge section recently taken out. And I said to my wife, if we have an overtopping or through that bank, we'll see flooding like we've never seen in 40... I've never seen floodwater on the wrong side of either river in 40 years, just to put this event into some perspective. But yeah, I just hope that we can learn to make... I know it was a quickly developing, moving feast, but a chopper flew up Gilligan and Gilbertson Road after the river water was apparent. Swing a siren under that chopper. Take a fixed wing plane with a banner.
People getting evacuated in the middle of the night.
And I shudder to think that the civil defence chap McDonald was stranded in Wellington. I do hope that his responsibilities were delegated to someone here, but I suspect not, because it was a national emergency, and I can fully understand why they had to make it a national emergency. They've got to give priorities to provinces. But I imagine the feet of clay, not to use it, but I can just imagine the national emergency. It would have made decision-making funereally slow. And that was probably perhaps why we never got a CD warning. I don't know.
Last year, and a lot of people weren't aware of that, the decision was made to turn off all those civil defence sirens. I teach at West Shore School, as well as being part of this community for over 40 years, and we put forward a submission, please leave it. And we got the thing, we don't need it, it didn't work overseas, and everybody will get an alert on their phone.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and that's part of the national emergency that we'll be taking back in our review and our feedback. Absolutely right. The sirens.
Can I just really quickly say something? So I actually.
Sorry, one moment, one person at a time. Thank you.
I actually live in Waiahiki, and I woke up at 5:30 in the morning with water coming into my house. At 5:30, my friend was driving home at 7 over the Taradale Expressway and went home into Pakowhai, and she said she did not know that we were already up to almost waist height in water in our house in Waiahiki. So why was there no warning for Pakowhai at that time?
Thank you.
Is it correct that Fernhill breached at 8 a.m?
Yeah, I don't have the details of that, any of the breach.
So the people who are paid big money, can they predict what's going to happen from that time?
Yeah. Are there models?
Are there? We've got a bank here. What's going to happen? Where's the water going to go from there?
Yep. So we have.
They needed to get that water away.
So we do have a lot of information about what happens when various locations are breached. And Pakowhai is one of those areas where there's natural drainage from a lot of those scenarios. So the pump station is not designed to deal with floods. It's a drainage pump station to drain the land. And so the capacity is not there to deal with floods. So it's a different type of system. The level of service of that pump station is to remove 22 millimetres of rain per hectare per day, and that's the agreed levels of service.
So somebody needed to really get in there and breach the...
So, yeah, so...
It blew itself out.
Yeah, so that's what happened at the confluence there. It blew itself out, and then the level rapidly came down.
When did it blow? Because this became a lake.
We were fully submerged over our roof for 40 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
So,
on that point,
that's what did the damage. Otherwise, we would have been like here.
I'm bound to say, like, it's academic to us now, but here we are 3 and a bit weeks on. Why haven't the regional council got to Hawke's Bay today, like they briefly showed on the Sunday documentary program on Sunday? There was 8 breaches on one river and 5 on another, then it was gone off the screen.
Yeah.
That should have been in the paper. What happened, when, and, there's been absolutely nothing in the paper about when, any of it.
Yeah. So
liability lie.
No, I guess we've provided that information. It probably hasn't been as widely spread.
There's no map or plan or photo.
So there is a map, and we're quite happy to make it available of where each and every breach
and have you submitted that to Hawke's Bay today?
We've had probably 100+ media inquiries, and we've cooperated with all the media and provided a huge amount of information. So I can't give you a blow-by-blow, but certainly it's no secret where those breaches have occurred.
Well, it's a secret to most of us.
Yeah.
Putting this on your website.
Yep, so we're quite happy to put it on the website, so we'll take some notes.
There's a map, interactive map. Why was the Mayor of Napier able to get a TV spot on the TV informing us that it was very deep water at Waiahiki? We got the first alert at 3 o'clock when we were ringing 111 from Park Estate. There's a major.
The major.
But keep an eye on Facebook, because that's where all the information will be, guys.
We know at the end of Heaton Road, a friend of ours that had breached at 6:30 in the morning.
It flooded here at 9:40. 9:40, and we couldn't get out, so we came to the school because we knew this was the highest place in Pakowhai. My husband always said, because he was in the floods in '73, come to the school. Now 9:40, they didn't know in Gilbertson or Gilligan Road that we were flooded here and couldn't leave till 2 hours later. That they got it round there. So that's disgusting. We had helicopters flying over us, and they knew because the stop banks over here had breached, and it was a raging river here at 11 a.m. in the morning, this deep, and there was nobody here. We had 12 people, we had 3 young children. I had a daughter who called in at 8:30 to go to work and couldn't get out of Pakowhai. She'd only come from Clive. She went to both bridges and couldn't leave. They wouldn't let her out. And she had a 6-month-old baby and a 3-year-old in the car. She had to come back here, and thank God she did because she helped us. But I had 3 of my grandchildren here at school stranded with me because there was no way out because nobody could get across the bridges at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 when they closed them. And they're local people. It's disgusting. The police were turning people away. They were very aggressive. It's really sad. You know, this shouldn't happen.
So, look, I've just grabbed the mic to make it my commitment very clear as a regional councillor that we will put out a lot more information. We will reach out to Hawke's Bay today. We have more and more information every day, and we'll make sure we get more of it.
We had one grader blade through the middle.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, that's a great segue. What I'm going to do is invite Katrina up here to give an update on silt and waste, so that you've got more information there, because we've got good information. Okay, so we've got a lot of good information to impart. We haven't got all the answers tonight, but if we have to move on.
Kia ora koutou all. Chris talked about Regional Council and their works group working on the pump station and the likes. So we're working alongside Chris's team, who've been busy putting back the emergency stock banks. So I'm Hastings District Council. My name's Craig Thew. I'm the Group Manager of Assets for the Hastings District Council. So in this area, obviously, our major focus is working around getting these drains cleared. My team is also busy in the outer rural trying to get into properties, particularly up to Terra, where we still unfortunately have a whole pile of people who are completely disconnected. But in this particular area, we're working through clearing all of the Regional Council and the Hastings District Council drains, because there's no point one drain working and one drain not. Our current program, as we're progressing, we're working at the moment in Gilligan, Brookfield, Sissons, Hodgsons and Gilbertson. As we work through those, they're expecting to get through those by the 18th of March. But we truly know, and Chris mentioned it, and many of you have mentioned it, this silt's going to keep moving, and we're going to have to keep coming back. The other one, please come and see me at the end of the session after all the speakers. I just want to get details, because I also know behind in these properties, the drains that feed these properties are not just on the roadside. So we need to understand. You all know in your own areas where there may be drains at the back of the properties, and we want to just make sure we join them all up. We have some plans, but we don't know some of those low, some properties have quite low scalping areas. I just don't want to miss anything. So we've got a list of all the drains we're planning to do and work a program, but I just don't want to miss someone. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'd like to do is...
When I rang the council, they said, oh no, Regional Council? Oh no, that's the Hastings District Council.
Yeah, so my commitment...
And then I said, hang on, the Regional Council mow the drain. Yeah. It's their drain.
Yeah. So as I said, sir, my commitment is we're working on that on behalf, working alongside Regional Council, but our contractors that we've got in here will continue to clear all those drains out. And if they've missed any, there are a couple of sections that we've found diesel in it. Our big issue at the moment, we've found about 5 silt sites. So at the moment, the sites that we've got that people have nicely enabled us to put clean silt on, we just need to find a contaminated site. It's not many, there's just a couple of bits we've found so far on Pakowhai Road, but we're working on a solution to take where the silt has diesel and so forth.
Can I just say though, so the first thing was keep your contents and the silt. So do you realise how high the silt was in my house? I'm not pulling apart the silt from the contents. It's actually your problem.
Yeah. So we're practicable.
You're going to need to take the whole pile that's sitting outside our house.
Yeah. So and that is absolutely their plan. So as I said, around the private drains, we will be coming back. If I move on to household goods, if that's okay. As I said, anyone's... So there's a program where we're getting... Yep, so they're cleaning the drains, and then there's a program of jet cleaning of all the culverts through as well, so that'll go through. We'll have to come and clean the drains. This is not going to go away anytime soon, so we're going to have to keep coming back into this area. In the same vein, we'll be going back into the Dartmoor area.
So we'll probably
contractors.
Yes.
Gilbertson Road.
Gilbertson Road, okay, thank
what
you.
if even if take a drive down there and have a look,
Yep.
they'll give you a good look at it.
So Gilligan and Gilbertson are the next.
They're working 6 days a week. Some of them are working in different areas as well. We need to...
Okay, thanks, sir.
So just...
One question.
Sorry.
What
say Gilligan's and that are next. There's properties below those, and every time you clear drains above them, Sissons Road gets flooded again.
Yep. And so
do it first, so the water's got somewhere to go.
So they were in Sissons Road last week, and they're focusing on clearing the silt from the road and then jetting all those culverts. They'll be going back because as you say, it is low.
I've just come from there, and it doesn't look any different from what it did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and as was talked about, today's rains moved a whole pile of silt, so we're going to have to keep coming back. Just in terms of the household rubbish, I know many of you have had your piles and working through. If anyone hasn't registered, I've got some forms here with me tonight to get your details. We will be coming back. I know many of you have not been back to your properties yet either.
When you can actually drive, oh, there's rubbish, pick it up.
It just helps us with programming, sir. So in some places the pile may not be on the road, it may be back, and so if we don't know where it is at the back of the property, so it just helps us with the logistics. What we've also got is some flexi bags, which after that first big pile we're just handing out. It allows just to put products in to make it just a little bit easier for the follow-up cleans and so forth.
So if we start separating, say, batteries, what can we do about our shed had a pile of tyres? So do you make a separate pile to keep them apart because you don't want to put them in there? And the other thing is we suddenly found outside our place a whole lot of paint. It wasn't our rubbish, it's been dumped there, and they've been passed twice, and the council is just, they just separate it.
I'll get the answer for you.
Yeah. So that's actually been an issue in a few places where not only are the communities emptying out their own houses after this disaster, but some people decide to drive past and empty their own home contents. It is a problem that we're working through. We're also just pulling together, working with Regional Council, a hazardous waste pickup so we can deal with the paint, the sprays, and all those other elements that we have to work through.
There'll be plenty of that.
So there's
oil and water mixed together.
Yeah, but rubber tyres, you know.
So if you can keep them separate, that way it gives us a chance to separate them out. Some of it we're doing sorting where it's obvious, where we're taking the household products. So just in terms of context, we've taken somewhere around 650 truckloads of waste and about 1,100 truckloads of silt out of drains. At the landfill, we're pulling through about an extra 400 tonnes of material that's coming out all the properties, both for your area and the Esk Valley and the Dartmoor. That's really huge. So it is, if you can separate it, it's helpful, but we're doing what we can to separate. Gas bottles, though, we really ask, and there's a program, and Mr. O'Shaughnessy may mention it later, gas bottles are dangerous for everyone. We're putting it through a massive shredder. We try and pull them out. We had one explode in there the other day, and so the last thing we want to do is actually injure those who are working through.
Just one last question for me. At a community meeting last Sunday, there was an employee of Downers who said that, and I suspect she's talking about normal times and maintenance, but she said that when they go out to clear drains, they are allowed to do from a a designated point in a drain to another designated point, even though it might be blinding, obviously, just to the right, the massive egress culvert into someone's house is blocked. So is some slack being cut to these guys?
Yes.
Good.
So normal times, and the reason that plays out, particularly for roading drains, we get half the funding from Waka Kotahi and NZTA, and they have strict rules around that. At the moment, we're taking quite a long, flexible rope to that, and just how we're dealing with it.
I think you need more gear, right?
Yeah. Is it being asked, are we even allowed that? Like, are we wasting our time here?
Yeah.
I think there's an item coming up to that.
They were in the know, and some of them owned rubbish companies, and so there was a lot of people who got rubbish bins in, and then coincidentally that same day I got a visit from some wellbeing staff of yours, and was told, no, we're going to pick it up, but I hadn't seen it anywhere else, and that was quite some time after. So can I send that invoice in to you when it arrives?
Let's have a conversation after this. One of the ones we are also having a trouble with, and I can just ask or plead, is and it cropped up quite a lot just down Korokeeper Straight the other day. So particularly with the orchard sheds where you've got all your Friday, the fruit trays and so forth, they're all getting thrown into the same pile. If the collection we're doing is largely the household stuff. If there's that level of commercial elements, and particularly if it's things like cardboard and that, if you can just keep that separate, we can get that, particularly this pile that we had was all clean. We could get that straight through to Hawke and do something with it, because we're consuming our landfill capacity really, really fast, and that's a waste for our community moving forward. So if there are those opportunities, and same with plastic wrap. I mean, there's... If we can...
This is going to take you forever if you go to recycle.
Well, not. It's not...
Don't worry. You come and have a look.
Yep. It's just where it's practicable. Yep.
Thank you.
So just...
Sir?
So when I come to demolish my house, because it's... Are you going to give us a break on the landfill fees for taking all that away?
That works on process, and also a conversation with government around how we can get subsidies and remove the fees.
About where do you put your house, and they've got no idea. They don't know where they're going to dump it.
Okay. We'll come back to you on house.
That'd be great.
Yep.
What we're doing with the house. Let me take your name.
So one of the questions...
Everybody wants to know.
Yeah. So one of the other questions we've had from the area is my water bore, and is the water safe? And some people have asked about testing. So we've got a process which will send some communication out via the hub around where we can give you contacts so you can do that testing, and the cost of that water testing will get subsidised via the event response. So if anyone's they want to have their water tested because they're worried about it, please make contact.
Most of these people don't have houses, they're not worried about their walls, right?
Why don't you just come and do it? Like,
Go down to St. Gilligan, right?
we all want our boards tested. Why do we all have to reuse again? Rake scale, pick up the bloody silt, pick up the rubbish.
So if you could just come down to the mobile hub, tell us what your issue is, and the team will come to your property, okay? Good, you were there yesterday? So that's the idea of this hub being parked up here. People come in, tell us what you need, and we'll come and help. Now I'd like to... Sorry?
When's the next hub? So I was only aware it was
No, Debs, Wednesday, tell me about the hubs. Tuesday. At the hall. Thanks, Kev.
So the rates go up, the capital value of your property.
We're talking about the rates coming up to that, sir. Coming up to rates. Can I just invite now to final order our health team to just talk about health and looking after yourselves.
There you go. Okay, so on the agenda you would have seen Karen Smiley was here. Unfortunately, her place got affected by the recent thunderstorm that went through, so I've filled in for her. I'm Lionel. I'm actually from Auckland. I've been spending most of my time dealing with the floods over in Northland, Auckland, and also in the Coromandel. So we're bringing the lessons that we've learnt and trying to get the regional council, Napier City Council and the Hastings District Councils to learn the lessons that you guys are now experiencing, so that hopefully things can be fast-tracked, because it was too long for us. Okay? So, yeah, we're trying to also help you guys to get what you need. Okay, so some of you guys would have also received this fact sheet, which is a public health message that we want to make sure that you all have access to. It is online. We are giving it out as well. We have some on up deck here with all the fact sheets. The key thing to know is history is going to repeat itself. You know, after every flooding event that there's certain things that will happen, but some things you can actually control. What can you do? So the first 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to experience a lot of people come down with gastroenteritis, waterborne illnesses, okay? Because you're in the silt, you're in the mud, and you're falling into it, okay? So you have to look after yourself. I know everyone is up here with silt, okay? Even we went through it, okay? Each of us were going through it ourselves. The key thing is if you will potentially, if you continue to expose yourself, you will potentially get sick again, okay? In which case the mahi that you do can't happen if you're sick and crook, okay?
Has any analysis been done of the silt?
So?
Has any analysis been done of the silt?
Yes, it has been. There is a lot of confirmed of bacteria and viruses that will cause you the gastroenteritis bugs. It's all about minimising that exposure. I know it's going to be hard saying, oh, I have to wear a mask, okay? If you can, if you've got access to it, do so. If you've got a surgical mask, that's better. If you don't, do the best that you can, but try and minimise it when it's on a high dust environment, okay? The silt is going to cause a lot of skin irritations. It's going to grit into your eyes, okay? It's going to irritate your skin. If you're prone to asthma, it might irritate that. So be aware for those who are susceptible for respiratory conditions. Oh, we're actually trying to encourage trucks, if you can. It's 30 k's, but we're actually trying to encourage them to slow down to even 15 k's in highly populated or non-populated areas, particularly next to residential addresses and populated areas. Because all it takes is about 48 hours in fine weather, which we're going to have periods of fine, wet, fine, you're going to get that dust generation. The key thing as well is look after your feet, okay? Because that silt will basically like sandpaper. If you got gumboots, make sure you got fresh laundered socks daily if you can, okay? Otherwise you're going to get cuts and sores on your feet, and you can't do your work if you're sore on your feet, okay? This is going to be a long haul, guys, okay? So you've got to look after yourselves. We don't want any of you guys ending up in A&E and hospitals, okay? Everything is preventable. Wear gloves where you can, once again, because you're trying to prevent cuts in your hands. After about 2 to up to 6 weeks, you're likely to have all the other sort of rodent sort of issues, okay? So it's around now, you'll start to have the proliferation of the rodent activities.
We've got those with the looters.
Yeah, exactly, okay? So they're going to be pissing everywhere, so everywhere. Once again, that means your food, your stock, what you're touching, you're going to be more susceptible to leptospirosis, okay? This is an occupational hazard that all of you guys already know, okay? But try and make sure before you eat, smoko breaks, do try and wash your hands. If you've got potable water or bottled water, wash your hands with warm soapy water before you do it. You're trying to prevent those illnesses knocking you out doing the good work that you're doing and the work that you're helping your neighbours as well. Okay? In about 2 to another 4 weeks from now, you're going to start to get all the mosquito issues going to start popping out. Okay? Well, already now already. Okay? So that's when you're going to have to start making sure that you're covered, making sure that you've got your long sleeves. Light colours are better. Okay, if you've got pesticides, use it. Because same thing, you don't know what mosquito-borne viruses that they'll carry, and same thing. If you're down, you're not helping anyone. Okay? Okay, there's a lot of information out there. I'll pass my mic to Kirsten, who is also from Te Whatuora, and she'll answer some questions, and then we'll stay around for a few questions that you might have. There you go.
Kia ora tātou katoa I hui hui mai nei. Thank you for coming to this meeting today. I'm Kirsten Hawthorne King. I'm a professional lead social work mental health from Te Whatuora, Te Matua Māui. And I'm just here to say thank you for allowing us to come here to talk to you. I've been working in the psychosocial space in different areas like Pātauka, Puketitiri, Hamoana. So in the different areas we've gone into and we've seen firsthand, you know, what's happening out in our rural communities. It's just to say, take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves. Allow yourselves the opportunity to feel as that wave of emotion comes, and expect it to come in waves. And it's healthy and it's good for you to be able to do that and express in your own way how you're feeling. And I could feel those feelings and those emotions out there as I was standing out in the crowd. And I understand and I feel for you. And I felt the same way when I visited the other places and I heard the pain. So if you have any concerns with your mental health or you feel that you need help in that area, we're at the top, kind of like the top end, moderate to severe, but there are a lot of agencies that are on the ground, like Red Cross, there's victim support. There's a lot of help numbers that are in the flyer or the leaflet that he's got there. There's also, I see Men Up in the crowd. There's a lot of agencies that are on the ground, also Cyclone support help that are sending out hot food and meals to the community, and they know the people on the ground, so they're feeding back to us what they need. So if you are concerned for anyone, and you feel that they need support and you want to flag them, talk to those people, those help communities that come in, who can pass that on to us. Because we know they're in there. When you're ready, we are here for you when you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Thank you very much. And could I now invite, yes, a round of applause, we lovely, thank you. Could I now invite Jonathan Bells, a good segue into the Rural Support Trust, invite Jonathan to let everybody know about the support that's out there for everyone, and Jackie from MPI. Thank you.
Good evening all. First thing I have to do is apologise. I'm from Central Otago, so I'm a Highlanders supporter. You'll be pleased to know that we've been thumped in the last 2 games and probably going to get thumped this weekend, but never mind. A bit of my background: I'm from a sheep and beef station in Central Otago. Worked my way through Motueka, working in the fruit industry, up to Gisborne. March 1988, I had the pleasure of sitting in Cyclone Bowler, so I'm a bowler survivor. Working in the hort industry and saw the damage that was there. But saw the light and moved to Hawke's Bay and have been here for 25 years. I've had a career in rural banking and also held some chief executive roles. Rural Support Trust, we're a charity and we're available on the end of the phone if anyone wants to phone us for any reason at all. If you want to talk to us about yourself, your neighbour, dealing with your bank, any issues you may have, please call us. 0800 787 254. I've only been in the role a couple of months. It's a part-time role apparently. Just from a wellness point of view, the Tuesday after the cyclone, it's like turning up at school and your phys ed teacher has said to you, "Congratulations, I've just entered you in a marathon." Because we are in a marathon, it's not a sprint. This is going to take a long time to get to where you want to be or to get things done, okay? And the worst thing about this marathon is none of you have had any training in it. So for the first couple of days you walk around, you're in a daze and you're trying to work out what the heck to do. And then the adrenaline kicks in and you start doing stuff. And like all good marathoners, we start off with a hiss and a roar. And after a little while we run out of foof, okay? Just looking around the people here, there's probably some body shapes that shouldn't be in marathons anyway, but that's beside the point. Anyway, you get to that point where you run out of energy, and at that point there you stop, and the reality starts to hit you, and the worst thing is that you start operating subpar, okay? You're making decisions or thinking, and you're not thinking 100%. At that point there, you look around, you gather yourself, you gather the people that can help you, and then you start moving forward. But the key thing is to look back and see how far you've come, because you've actually done some good positive things. So from my point of view, the most important person that you can look after is yourself, okay? The second person or people is your family, and the third one is your community. If you do not look after yourself, you're no bloody good to your family, and you're no bloody good to your community. And I can see quite a strong community here. It's a pity that it's a disaster that's brought you all together. So look after yourself, drink lots of water, eat properly, take breaks. I'm taking 2 days off in the weekend because I haven't had a break since the cyclone. Try not to work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, because you'll run out of energy a lot quicker. Because of stress and anxiety, if you're a smoker, throw it away. It's not good for you. And everyone hates this when I say this, but you know, too much alcohol isn't good on the stress side. I was up in Dartmoor the other day, and there was a bunch of farmers there, and I made that comment to them, and they just all shook their head. And afterwards, we were having a chat, and cans of beers came out. And these guys were talking to each other, and one of them said, "How are you feeling?" I thought, "Oh, that's a bit sore." "Yeah, no. So I said to Gordon Hanson, I said, what's going on? He said, oh, we had a bit of fun the other night, a bit of a blowout. We had big time wrestling. So anyway, last thing is on the back of the ute over there, there's some pet food, cats, dogs, etc. Compliments of Richard Lee and Vet Services. So if you've got some animals, grab some and take it home with you. Take care of yourself. You'll get through this. It's hard, but I've seen it in Gisborne. Everyone gets through. So good luck. And if you need us, call us. There's some pamphlets down here. No one ever wants to go out and grab them because they go, every neighbour's looking at them and go, oh, there's something wrong with him. But and the other thing is, put your hand up for help. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'd like to invite Dean Smith from Hawke's Bay Fruit Growers just to say a couple of words for all of our growers out there. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, thanks, Sandra. Look, I'm here this evening in the capacity of Hawke's Bay Fruit Growers, but to be honest, I'm also here. This was my school. I spent about 5 years here, and this was my community, and it's bloody hard to drive around and see what you've all endured. It's really hard. But I'd just like to, I guess, remind all of you that are out there making a living off the land or doing your best to make your living off the land in this part of Hawke's Bay. A lot of you are involved in our industry. A lot of you are growing fruit, or you know people that are out there growing fruit. And I'd just really strongly encourage you to connect with the association. If you don't have to be a member, just make yourself known, because we really want to support you. You've obviously got an awesome community here, the Pakowhai Community, but there's also a community of growers out there right across the region as well. And they're all hurting in different ways. And you know, it's not just the people that have been impacted that are hurting. I've spoken to a lot of growers that are also having crazy emotions, you know, that survivor guilt and all that kind of stuff, and they really want to help, but they don't really know how. And it's really hard to help if you don't know who to help. So I just encourage any of you that are out there that are involved in fruit growing to please make yourself known. And we do have other sort of streams that we can help to support the work that Jonathan, the Rural Support Trust, etc. are doing. Yeah, so thank you, and stay strong, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Dean. Jackie Davis from MPI on any financial support required.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm here with two colleagues, Tony and Doug, if you'd like to put your hands up. What we will say is that we're actually Hawke's Bay first and MPI second, so we're local, we're here with you. So MPI have been very quick to release a fund. We know it's never easy to get money out of central government very quickly, but they have done it in this instance. And I will say that this is the start. It is just a start. We know there's more to come, but they've got this out here fairly quickly. So if you are a farmer or a grower, there is some assistance. Now this is just clean-up assistance. It's about, and we know it's not going to touch the sides. We know it's not going to get rid of all the silt. It's not going to do everything it needs to do, but it's a start, and it's an intention, really. It's stating an intention that we're here. So come and see us.
As landowners,
yes.
We'll come and see you at the end. Leased orchards,
yep.
That fund, who can apply for it? The lessee or the landowner has to?
Yeah, so there are a lot of those kind of questions that we can help you with. It's about the conversation. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. Even Wellington's trying to make it as simple as possible. And some of these grants are being paid out within 24 hours. So we're here to help. Come and see us. We've got all the information here, and we're actually here on the ground with you to give you any advice, any support that you need from us.
Is MPI doing a budget on the cost, or, you know, a prospectus budget on the cost of removing silt while still trying to not munt the trees?
And we're working really closely with all the industry groups. Since day 2 of this, we've actually been sitting with the apples and pears in their boardroom, took it over. We've got a big support team come up from Wellington, but I will say that our mantra since they arrived is keep it local and get shit done. And that's one that we're going to continue to carry forward with us.
I've heard people say that however one goes about it, it's likely to be about 50 to 80,000 a hectare to, even if you just park the silt away with the digger and get it later, by the time it's back to silt all gone, to reinstate it. While we all appreciate the initial thing, can see the big discrepancy.
Yeah, and we know that, and we've got that voice to Wellington, and I must say, we've been very lucky. We've had a number of government ministers. Our head, Ray Smith, he's been here twice. We've got seniors coming in every week. They're in here, they're actually getting their feet in the silt. They are seeing it, and they're listening to us when we talk about what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, and what we're feeling for our growers, our farmers, and our communities, because we're part of this community too. So there's a lot of that work being done. We're working really closely with industry bodies, because of course it's going to depend on what crop that you're growing. But come and see one of us and talk to us afterwards.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Now we're going to invite the Head of Hastings District Council Planning, John O'Shaughnessy, to talk about your homes have been assessed. And John, you might like, and Sam, come forward, and also invite our local MP, Anna Hawke, come forward, thank you. And we'll just hear how this process works, and that is about your property, your home has been assessed. Thanks, John.
Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of simple things. Has everyone got onto the insurance company? Yep, good. Have the insurance company CESAs started appearing in your area yet? Okay, that's good. The other thing is, has anyone here not had a visit from our rapid building assessors? Because each time we have a meeting, there's usually 2 or 3 people that we may have missed, or properties we missed. So is anyone here tonight, or anyone know of anyone?
We're not aware of it.
Okay. Okay. The sticker system that goes on your house, right? We had a team of 21 people, and plus our own staff, who all went out in pairs, and they do an assessment. So if there's anyone who believes they haven't had a visit, please come and see us. And we're Sam, who's our new recovery manager. We're moving from what we call the response stage into the stage of recovery. But there's one thing that we always make a point of covering off, is what's the difference between a red sticker and a red zone. And the sticker system we use is purely for human safety and health, okay? So it's not about the future zoning of any land, and that's why I think we'll hand over to your MP for Tuki, Anna Hawke. She's going to talk a little bit about that, what's known as either red zoning or managed retreat.
Excuse me. We were a yellow sticker today. We have padlock gates to keep these thieving bastards out. The house was yellow stickered. On our rates demand we paid for a second dwelling. They forgot about that one.
Great.
Does that need stickering? Because
Yes.
the roof's all fallen in.
Yeah, so what I'll do is, we'll come and see you tomorrow. We've got crews out every day.
Yep.
I'll give you my card, and we'll all...
32 Hodgson, write it down.
Okay, thank you.
Don't give me your card.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
32
32?
32?
Yep.
Hodgson.
Thanks, Sammy. Go and grab it. Yep.
Got it, 32 Hodgson Road.
Anna, you would like to...
Oh, okay.
Yep, say a few words.
And I'll just say, we're just going to hand out the little pamphlet we give out to everyone. If you could pass them out, that'd be great.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me. I just want to say a big thank you to Pakowhai School for being able, everyone in the community who got out and helped Tim, and the parents who cleaned this house, the school out and wiped it down with Genola and opened it up so the kids could come back. Thank you, Tim, and for all the work that you're doing there. Look, I'm not going to take much time. I'm going to tell you 2 things. Today and this afternoon, I've heard from a lot of you that you want a decision now on a red zone. Red zone is where where the government will make a decision based on what, working with the community and with the council, on whether land is suitable for housing. I can't give you that decision today. It's not mine to make. It needs to be, but what I am committed to is making sure that the voice of this community and what you want is heard back in Wellington. And so, look, if I know in Eskdale, they put names down and said that how quickly you wanted those answers. They're not easy answers. It's a tough decision to make, and it's one that I don't think anyone, even if one decision today, probably really knows what they want tonight. So if I can ask if you'd like to do that, please put your names down. I've got this here, and you can just write your names down and let me know, and I'm happy to come and have another conversation about it on another night. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is insurance. We've set up a service called the New Zealand Claims Resolution Service. Now, this was set up after Christchurch to help people navigate dealing with insurance companies. And it's a process that people have to go through, and it took too long. So if you want to have the service, we're hoping to get people out here that can talk across Hawke's Bay with people about how to deal with their insurance claims. And look, I'll give you those numbers. I'll give you a number, and if anyone wants it from me, they can come and get it. It is 0508 624 327. Now, no one's probably got a pen, but I want to tell you that because there is a number you can call, and these people will help you deal with your insurance. And that service is something that I think more people, and I know in Christchurch, it was very useful. So there are the two things. Please come and see me if you want me to do anything I can for you. I'm here. And yep. Yes, absolutely. If you've got a pen, it's 0508 624. Okay, 0508 624 327. Now that service is up and running now. There's been about 300 people that have used it, but it is, from what I've heard, it's very, very useful. Okay. Oh, here we go. It's there.
The numbers are on this flyer here. It's called the Cyclone Gabrielle Update Civil Defence. Okay. So here we go.
We can give it to you tonight, but please use it. And from what I've heard, it's very, very useful. Does anyone? Yes. Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah. So he just asked about the decision around red zoning and how that will impact your insurance. Right now, your insurance companies are wanting you to write down things like your possessions, right? And wanting you to itemise all that. So I had a chat to Minister Webb, who was in the Christchurch earthquake. And he said to me, he had a beloved record collection. Hundreds of records, and he couldn't write down every name of every record, so he just put down record collection and a thing. And those sort of practical things, I know it might sound odd, but those things helped him get through what he had to do when his house was destroyed and lost everything. Yes.
There's a big discrepancy between insurance companies.
Yes.
For 3 weeks we were told we had to itemise, and then because everything had gone, they said no. Don't worry about it.
So get in touch with this number and go through that with them.
And happened, so
yeah,
we're fine.
Okay.
Some companies didn't even expect anything. They just looked and said,
yeah. Wow. Well, they've learnt through. They're a good insurance company then, aren't they? Yeah. Right. One more, Lockie.
Yeah. I think the talk about a red zone is a bit of a misconception really, because it could have just as easily been Havelock North taken out or Taradale. So to talk about a red zone here for Pakowhai is quite erroneous, I believe, and we need to kill that quite quickly.
So that's if that's what you're saying, then that's what needs to come through. Absolutely, and it will be a conversation that's held. Yeah.
To John or Sandra though, one of the things that's slowing us in our progress is the talk about the silt contamination. So we've heard about some of the bacterial stuff, we get that, but what we're more concerned about is the heavy metals potentially, or whatever that could be in the silt. Now that sort of thing is slowing down the whole progress for us to move on, because we can't get clarification from our insurance companies until we understand, well, until they understand that it's okay to flush it out and carry on.
Yeah, hi Tim. Katrina Brunton, Hawke's Bay Regional Council. We've taken representative samples right across the region in the most silt damaged areas.
in all of the silt that we've measured or had sampled, there is no heavy metals. As the health authority said, there's still that biological potential for human health effect, but there are beyond background levels, it's no different.
And Ben said they had a number that you could offer your place and working in conjunction with Landwise, because they're trying to build a whole profile. So I just contacted them and said, you're welcome.
Totally. So look, what I would encourage all of you to do, and there are some really good decision frameworks, Dairy NZ, oh no, you're not dairy farmers, but you know, Apple and Pears, Pip Fruit New Zealand, they've all, Beef and Lamb NZ, they've all got huge amounts of information on their websites, but I would encourage you to call them. Talk about your individual circumstances, what is the depth of silt on your properties, and get them to help you make the decisions that you need to make. Do I clear the silt? Do I leave the silt? What do I do? You actually need some outside help on these decisions. That's what I'm suggesting, is that you contact the industry.
Information from the government, the council, what our zones are, because we're all working our backsides off, we're all half broken, you know, and we're all just trying to move silt, and we could be just wasting our time if this decision takes too long. Like Christchurch, all new houses were built, fixed, and then the government came in 12 months later and said, oh, actually, we're now red zoning you.
Yeah, totally agree.
People are still fighting 12 years later.
So that's the reason we've learned from Christchurch that can't happen. So we want to move those decisions forward. Yeah. So I've just said I can't make that decision tonight, and I'm not going to say it's tomorrow or in a week's time. What I am going to say, yes, absolutely, I will get that message through that you want a decision soon. And that conversation, though, has to be had with all of you too. I mean, if everybody could make that decision tomorrow, you would.
We haven't got
Yeah. You've told me that you don't want a red zone. That's what you've told me tonight. If Lockie's just sent that message loud and clear. See? So there exactly becomes the conversation. So we have to get that decision made. Now, part of that, and Sandra we've been working on this, is setting up the regional task force. And that decision, that announcement is on Monday, the regional recovery, and it's going to be led by Hawke's Bay. That's again really different to what happened in Christchurch, where it was top down. This will be bottom up, and that's why people in Hawke's Bay will get to have those decisions and be part of that. So, no, understood.
And we're under the gun. I've got 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. John spoke about the red stickering.
Yes.
Most of us were yellow stickers.
Yes, here he is.
So the rates for red stickered people was waived for 2 terms, 2 quarters, but for us with yellow stickers who can't live in our homes or anything, we only got given the final quarter. So why we're not using any of your services or...
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Sue. What we're going to do is we'll take that back. That's the policy position at the moment, and we'll see what our councillors want to do. Thank you for that. So I'm going to be really short now. This building guide, and we've got a number here about different guides about obviously all the things that you need. So you're most welcome to come and see us. Sam and I are going to stay behind so that people can see us. Please make a point of reading through this, and then it gives you a basic overview of the placarding process and what has to happen. So come and see us afterwards, but please read it, and we've got our contact numbers, and that'll be great. Thank you.
Can I just ask
Yep.
I'm actually going to ask you, John, to go and speak to you, because we just need, I'm conscious of time.
Well, this is quite an important question I have today, Sandra.
Yes.
When you stand us back, I'll ask you.
He's answering this question over here.
Oh, you need to come back and read those down.
Yep.
Well,
we've had 3 or 4 like that, where the weight has dropped the ceiling. So if you've got if you've got ones that you believe are a hazard to either human safety or health, come and see us. And some of them have gone up and some of them have come down. So yeah, come and talk with Sam, and we'll just stay here. We'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Just a very quick question.
Yes.
In a rebuild situation or a rehash situation where our dwelling's got a high stud and it's been wet through to the ceiling, how pedantic or how tough are the inspectors going to be on that rebuild? I mean, we don't want any wink, wink, nod, nod stuff. We want to make sure that it's 150% in terms of quality control by the council on that rebuild.
So just for the sheer numbers and that we're going to be dealing with, we'll be using exemptions on a lot of like-for-like work. And that means that your LBP, your builder, can come in, strip off what was there and replace it. And they'll also do the tests with a moisture meter. Because just in practical terms, there's just so many properties that need to be refurbished.
I'm only interested in mine, I'm sorry.
We'll come and see you.
So,
we'll come and see you, sir.
So there's going to be a fair bit of the old wink, wink, nod, nod, she'll be right.
No, but you said about existing use and you don't. So John and Sam, come over and talk to you, sir, about your property. Okay, so I'm just conscious that it's getting a bit dark, folks, and getting a bit cold. We've got a gentleman here. So we've got the MSD team, if you could just stand up, please. The MSD team, and that's the civil defence payment. So everyone who's been, you're all entitled to a civil defence payment. If you want to come and see them about some support, they're here for you. And then here's the team here from Temporary Accommodation Service. If you need anything sorted out for temporary accommodation, here is the team here. And do you want to say a couple of words?
Yes, please. Evening, folks. Just a very quick thing on Temporary Accommodation Service. It's purely for disaster dislocated folk. We are currently looking at possibility of bringing in some camp vans and perhaps porta cabins and things like that. So we're hopeful if people are rebuilding and they want a clean, nice but small place to live, temporary in the short term to place on site. It does need some services like water, sewage and power, that type of thing. It'll be subject to the council conditions, but please get on the TAS website. A Google search of TAS MBIE will bring it up. Register is really important. When you register, someone will ring you back within a day or two and they'll ask what your requirements are. If it becomes a porta cabin or a camper van or something similar, let them know that's what you need in the short term. That has changed. Yep. Yeah, we're making progress. It's a little bit slow. There's 3 of us here on the ground. This is not our BAU day jobs. So we've sort of been dragged into TAS. There were 14 people before the cyclone. They've stood up 150. So people are under training, and we're trying to make some progress and get some solutions for you out there tonight.
We'll see you.
Cool. Thank you. Come and see me after if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And now this is all about your community safety and well-being, making sure you're feeling secure and safe. We have our police team here.
Everybody gets asked about when the houses get pulled down, where do they go? It's like,
yes.
Bob does off, you're going to come back to it.
I'll come back to you because I don't have the answer straight away, sir. It's coming back. I'm just going to see if anyone's thought of that. We've been worried about the household goods at the moment, getting those off the sides of the road. That's been our big focus. Okay, so we've got our police team here, folks. I just want to make sure if you're happy with the security and the safety in your area.
Kia ora koutou. My name's Steve Nicol. I'm a Senior Sergeant from Hawke's Bay Police. Thanks very much for allowing me to come and speak to you. Appreciate that time is getting along, so I've just got a few key messages, but myself and my colleague, Senior Sergeant Kevin Stewart over there, will be hanging around afterwards and happy to discuss any issues that you've got. First of all, let me say it's been a pleasure to be in the community over the last week or so, and I've met a number of you both at the hub and whilst I've been driving around the streets. Stopped to try and talk to as many of you as I can. What I've been overwhelmed with is the resilience and the welcome that we've got for the police, that you've got for the police, so thank you for that. I can't even begin to imagine what some of you are going through, and the last thing I want you to be concerned about is your property, people rifling through it. I can't think of anything that I find more distasteful than people looking to take advantage of you at your lowest point. So I want to assure you that as a team, Hawke's Bay Police want to do everything that we possibly can to try and make you as safe and to feel as safe as you possibly can be. To that end, we've got the mobile police space operational that we've spoken about previously. That will be based at the hall again. It's out there at the moment with some staff, but it will be based at the hall again at 9:30 on Tuesday, 9:30 to 11:30 on Tuesday. We'll have a number of the other agencies there as well, so please come down if you do need to ask any further questions after tonight.
A question, are
yes.
they going to reinstate the police dogs at the end of Allen's Road?
Well, yes, obviously we've been directly affected as well. Our police dog base has gone. I'd love to tell you what the long-term plan is for that, but there isn't one at the moment, and we're still working through that. We've obviously got a number of our staff as well who are part of your community and have been affected, so we're definitely feeling this with you. I've just got a couple of really quick key messages which will help us to help you, so if I can share those, and then if anyone wants to come and ask me anything else afterwards, I'll be delighted to speak to you. The main thing is, I would love for us to be able to be everywhere at all times, but simply we just can't. We have got a lot of extra staff who've come into the area from outside of Hawke's Bay, and they're helping us. What that's allowed us to do is to have teams dealing with our normal 111 calls, but also have teams that are just providing reassurance and travelling through the areas that are worst affected by the flooding. What we're trying to do there is dissuade those looters that we've spoken about and anyone who's out there just trying to take advantage. We can only do that, or we can do it best, provide the best service if we get information. So my ask of you as a community is, if you see anything that you find suspicious, you will know people in your roads who aren't supposed to be there better than we will when we're driving around. So if you see anything that you think is suspicious, please do report it. Yes, there are a number of... Sorry. There are a number... Carry on.
Just, I rang up the other day because Pakowhai Road's been getting that busy, so then people were deciding to gun it all the way down Gilbertson at 100 kilometres an hour to get all the way down to Gilligan and then jump back on. And I rang the council, they couldn't do anything.
No,
they said it's a police matter, the police said they didn't do anything, and then the police said they're actually not breaking any rules.
Well, what I can do, I don't actually work in the road policing side of things, but I will take that back to the road policing manager.
They need to block the road off.
Yeah. I don't know what the practicalities of that are, but I'll definitely ask the question. I might come and catch up with you afterwards as well, because I was interested in the stuff you were talking about the heavy goods vehicles, so I'll come and see you about that afterwards as well and see if there's anything we can do. But just quickly, oh sorry. Yeah, that's something that I can feed back. There's a lot of advertising coming out of civil defence, but we'll definitely see if we can do that. So probably the main key points, just before I leave you, are... oh, there's another one. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
You've asked us to report if we see anything.
Yes.
You may or may not be aware that most of us don't actually live in our homes.
Yes, I am aware of that, and as a result, we've got a lot more overnight. So these reassurance patrols are 24/7. So we've got teams running right through the day. Obviously, I have found from being in the area myself that there are a lot of you here working on your properties during the day, and I do know that a lot of the concerns that you've got have stemmed from people that you've seen when you've been working on your properties. So if you are here, please do let us know. There are a number of ways to do that. If it's happening now and you think it requires an immediate response, please just call 111. I know a lot of you have said you're concerned about that because you don't know whether it's life or death, or just do it. If it's happening now, we will respond to it and we can triage with it. We've got extra staff that's going to allow us to do that. Sorry? 24/7. Yeah. The other thing is that if it's not happening now, if it's something that you want to report that's happened previously, there's 105. Now, I appreciate that sometimes that takes a long time to get through, so a separate line has been created. So if you phone 105 and you explain that you're in a cyclone affected area, they will put it through to another dedicated line, which should get you through a lot quicker. And of course, there's online reporting at any police station as well, should you wish to do that. So please do tell us, because that way we can build up a picture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our police team. Unison now to give you any updates on the power, the Unison Power to the People.
Thank you, Sandra. Can I just say thank you to Tim and the school, and can I also put a shout out to Diana for organising tonight's meeting and inviting us. It's really much appreciated. So my name, yeah, absolutely. So my name's Neil Wembridge. I'm part of the Rural Power Restoration team, and I'm here with my colleague Kevin Corkery, who's the operations manager for Hawke's Bay. Look, I've got a couple of just a very short few key messages, and then Kevin's going to do the important bit and tell you when your power's coming back on for those that we can actually restore the power to. So obviously, following the cyclone, we had around 70,000, i.e. everyone, off power. As of about 4 o'clock this afternoon, we had under 950 connections still without power, and there are about 750 rural connections without power. That includes properties that were red stickered. So what that basically means is that we can focus our resources individually on individual properties now, and that's where the extent of our focus is going. So we have all of our Unison crews, and there's 11 crews normally, and we have crews that have come in to help us from outside of the region. So we have crews from Taranaki, Bay of Plenty, Taupo, Rotorua, all helping us do these final repairs at an individual community level and an individual house level. And we also have livening crews as well who go around to ensure that when we turn the power on, that the house and the connection is safe to liven. That's a big part of what we're doing, okay? One thing in terms of communication, if anyone wants to know specifically about their connection, or there's something peculiar about your connection or the way that you're connected to the Unison network, just come and see myself or Kevin after these speeches. We'll take down your details, and I don't mind giving out my details to anyone who wants them, just so they can stay in touch with me and find out what's going on. I'll also be feeding information through Diana as well, where I've got community level of information as well. Yeah, so Kevin, specifically.
Evening all. So as far as the restoration goes for the network, Pakowhai Road's on. Now when I say it's on at 11,000 volts. If your property's not on, we have got crews coming through next week who will be going through, and if a house can be livened, it will be livened. Gilligan's Road, Gilbertson Road, we'll have the power on there at 11 kV next week, so we'll have the same livening crews going through there and going to every property and livening those properties if they can be livened. Brookfields Road, same thing. So we've got the power on there soon. It'll be on next week. Gilbertson, Gilligan's next week. So if you're in that area and you see our guys, they will be coming to your house. Chester Hope, that's here, this road here. Yep, so there's power on down here. Are you right down the end? Yep, so down the end, the line to the two houses right down the end has been disconnected. There's pole work to do. So we'll have crews through here next week, livening crews who will be coming to see you. Because it might be your service or your fuse has been disconnected, when those livening crews come through, they'll be coming to your place, and if the property can be livened, it will be livened. So that will be, come and see me, come and see me.
Awesome, power to the people, thank you Unison, awesome. Give them a big clap, they're doing an outstanding job. And you know, just all part of these amazing contractors working really hard for our communities. I think we're just getting, you know, worried about cold and people getting dark, but we've got this amazing team that have arrived down from our Hawke's Bay, from around the country, called Man Up. They've gone in and cleaned out 70 homes so far with silt. Michael, I invite you up to say a couple of words. If anyone needs any help, these guys are volunteers, they've brought down machinery and they're helping us. So if anyone wants to come and see Michael and his team, I'll hand you over.
Just firstly, just want to honour every single person here. Hey, thank you for being yourself. But I know, look, I'm a Hawke's Bay boy. I live in Miani, just on the other side of the one-way bridge, and the water went around my house. But look, I've got some friends here with me, and so when this all went down, I've actually can remember some of your faces from the evac centre over St. Joe, so it's great to see you again. Here with my wife, but look, what we've been doing, we had 250 volunteers. That's skilled trades, construction business owners, and we've been just ploughing through Omahu, Waiheke, Puketapu, a little bit around Pakowhai, Estdale, Tongoio, all across the region, and we've just been helping out, remove silt, remove rubbish, helping clearing out. I've got a good friend here as well. We've been helping with some key orchard owners. We've actually saved one. We're on the third. They're working through with the machinery we have, and so I just want to put that here for everyone here, because I know it can be quite tense at the moment. Emotions are high, everyone's looking for an answer and a solution, and the mayor just sort of rang me up, said, Mike, can you come along? I said, I'd be honoured to come along. This is the first meeting I've been to, because normally we're covered in silt, and I might have to see that health person later on, but you know what, this is New Zealand, we have to just muck in. I'm sorry about the bureaucracy stuff that I will cross over. If I see a red tape, here's some answers. Paint it green, cut it, or jump over it. Just, hey, look, man, you know, I'm married, I've got 5 children, and hopefully I can move back to my house this week. But in the interim, we're here, a group of volunteers. We can help you in some capacity. We're based in the Hastings Indoor Sports Stadium. The mayor's kindly given it to me. No, lent it to us and our volunteers, and so we're in week 4 now, locally, but for the volunteer force, it's week 3. We've just been ramping up, and that's volunteers all across New Zealand. So I just want to actually speak to your heart. You're not alone, okay? I know it feels like that, and I know you all just want to, sorry, I'm going to speak not too long. I know you want to do a down shout to the council and everyone, okay? I don't blame you. Just got to say it. But phone number, you come see me at the end, but ring this number, 0800 1 Man Up. That's a free phone number, ring that. Also our Facebook page, Man Up Hawke's Bay, Man Up New Zealand, because this is a long haul. And we've got guys that have brought down their diggers, brought down trucks, hiring diggers, hiring trucks voluntarily at the moment. So I'm also here to talk to some of the regional councils, like how can we make this sustainable to get the help to the people here. And so that's it, okay? But look, please take care of yourself and be smart. Bless you.
What an amazing team. Thank you so much, Mike. That's awesome. Now, just before we close, Kevin Carter here. Those who need the generators, please come and see him. So the generators, 18 generators. For those who want to see MSD, please come over here for the grant. For those who want MPI, please, where's MPI? Put your hands up behind you. Yep, here. So now we just come and see individually. But hang on a minute, just before we go, can I a big shout out to Tim, the principal of the school, and a big clap for him. Thank you very much, Tim, for allowing us to be here. And I'd like to invite him now. And there's lots of food left. And just remember, everybody, we're all in this together. We're all here to help you. Can I just close our hui tonight with a karakia and invite Tim to close with a prayer. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming to Pakowhai School tonight, for some of you to return. Just before you do go, in our literacy centre just in here, there's quite a lot of supplies that you are welcome to take. There's clothing, there's pet food, there's hand sanitisers, there's masks, there's bottled water. There's a huge amount of stuff that has been donated to us and we want you to take it. Unfortunately, in that last downpour of rain, it's filled up our classroom with water. So we have to move all our kids out of their junior classroom on Monday and bring them up here. And at the moment, it's full of all those resources. So if you could kindly take them off our hands and make good use of them, that would be really, really good. And it will save us carrying them all on Monday. So thanks for coming. I'll close with karakia. E te atua manaki mai, e te atua whina mai, e te atua aroha mai, aki aki a mene. Thanks everyone.